How's it going, guys? Double wide 6, and today I found myself a lift cart. It's actually a pretty good one, probably about a $500 range lift cart, and I got it from the scrap yard, and it looks like they already moved it around because I believe they probably just threw it out because they were cleaning out some sort of business and just scrap everything like they usually do. But you can see there's a pretty good sized dent here. One of these scissors is bent. So we're going to try and get this thing in working condition. I think it would make a nice addition to the shop. So I put it up on my lift gate to make it a little easier to work on. And I know it weighs 175 pounds because I paid scrap metal price for it. Came in at $42.50. So I believe the first step is going to be to remove some of these Allen bolts because I want to try and get these pins out so I can have access to the top. There we go. Yeah, these are really tight. Can't really get much leverage on them. All right. This is 50% acetone and 50% ATF fluid. That should help it slide. And this is a punch that may fit in here a little better. And this is a chisel. Might be able to wedge in here. There we go. It's just about getting the right leverage on it. So with enough prying, I was able to get these ends loose, and looks like there's these rollers here, and we should be able to work that out. There we go. So our top tray is loose, so now we got to flatten that out. First method, we're going to try and flatten it out a little by jacking up the truck. I'm going to try and break that beam off. It's the next day, guys, and we can take a look at what we have. I got this thing pretty much straight. We're going to cut out and repair this, but for the most part, that's looking pretty good. That piece that I ripped off, this one, that one needs to be replaced, so that's what I'm working on. And I also noticed that this piece on the cart was bent, so I just quick chopped that out and picked up the camera here. So you can see I couldn't unbend it with a wrench. This stuff's pretty thick. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting a piece of channel stock or tube stock. I also had to bend this because it was slightly bent. I couldn't straighten it, so I had to cut it here. I cut most of it and left a little bit, and I was able to get those wheels level, and I'm hoping that it'll work well. I'm going to weld that to make it strong again. But as far as the channel goes, one side's a little bit bigger than the other, so I'm cutting that right now out of some 2-inch stock, and I've just got a stop here, and this is the thinner side, this is the thicker side. So out of each 2-inch pipe you get or I should say tubing, you get 2 pieces. So I'm going to be cutting this right now. Alright guys, real hot out, so I took a break. I got this thing working, so it goes up and it's going down. I don't have this attached yet. I thought I'd be able to hammer that out, shows what I know. So we're going to take that old rusty piece of metal, try and cut a piece, patch it in there, and I have the track already made that goes up underneath there. So that's the plan. So the first step is to just cut the scrap metal. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is I'm using these Nico flap discs, and I want to get rid of this rust so that I can weld this thing. So I'm going to clean up the edge, and I scribe the line. I'm going to knock off the paint there so we can weld. Alright, I got the metal clamped on where I want it. Now I'm just going to tack it a little bit. Now that I have it tacked, I'm going to start cutting away a little bit of the metal, starting here with this corner. So at this point, I cut that metal at a 45-degree angle, and I just put the blade against this piece of metal. And now that I'm through, I cut up to about here, I can actually move this. So what I want to do is I want to bring this blue metal up in line with this rusted piece of metal, and I'm going to start tacking that. So I think we're ready to tack this corner, and then we'll cut a little more and just keep working our way around. Alright, now we're back to cutting. So it's just going to be cutting like that, pulling the metal up, evening it out, and then tacking it. Took a couple taps with the hammer, but that's pretty even. So now we're going to weld that. Here's what we have to do to even out the metal. We got to hit this down to make it even. That's even, we'll weld it. So I've just been moving around, cutting and tacking, even it out. And I just finished cutting here, and now this panel is falling out. This was a tough job because this stuff was an 1/8 inch thick. There's our bad section. So we gotta even out that edge, tack this together, and then we'll fill in a strip down here. Alright, I'm back at it. I just clamped this piece in here. It's supposed to mirror this one. So this is in place. Had to use a C-clamp to really flatten out the top and get everything where I wanted it. So I'm going to tack that in, and then we should be able to see if this table fits on the cart. So I'm going to try and take down some of these welds. I'm using a fiber resin mesh 24 grit on a 7-inch grinder. That should make quick work of these welds. Cleaning up with a 4.5-inch grinder and a flap disc. This back lip is looking a little high yet, so I got to cut that off. Alright guys, I'm just about done here. I'm just going to show you what I fixed, give you a close-up. Went through, welded in this plate, which was kind of difficult because it was 1/8 inch plate. I added this piece on. There's actually two pieces I joined here. This piece here was bent. I couldn't straighten it out, so I added that one. And then up underneath the table, I put in a full track piece. I had to take apart this and straighten these out because they were a little bent. And I actually had to make a cut here and kind of torque this thing to get it to close properly. So that's re-welded up. I welded on this wheel because that was falling off. And here's the metal I removed. We tried straightening it with the oxyacetylene, but it's just too thick, too much work, couldn't get it. So this is where we're at. I think I'm going to put a little bit of paint on it just to protect it, and that's pretty much going to be it. So I'm just going to quick try and straighten this thing out. Sometimes you just need the right tool for the job. Well, this press is a new tool, so we're going to try and straighten this thing out. So I'm just going to support it here and bend it down. I'll bring it up a little bit, and we'll try and hit that bend. Just make sure it's tight. Alright guys, we'll give you a final look at everything. So we straightened out the back and painted that. I riveted that on. Here's the piece I cut in. It's not perfect. I could have bondoed it, but this is going to end up getting scratched up anyhow. But I rounded over this corner. Oh, I added this piece in here. This bottom piece we added in. I had to straighten out some of this this cross member stuff. And at one spot, I actually had to cut it. As I showed you earlier in the video, this needed to be cut a little bit and tweaked so I could bend it. This metal is a 1/2 inch thick and is really hard to bend. So we got it all together and it seems to be working real well. So all we really have to do is put some weight on it. Now this is rated for 600 pounds. I'm sure it can do 600 pounds, but for the work that I'll be doing with it, most of the weight is under 100 pounds. So I'll try and get some weight on here and we'll see if it goes up. Going up. This one goes up faster than the other one. Big time. You ready? Here we go. Nice.
Yeah, I am.
Go ahead.
Because I did it the other day.
Oh, you did? Right. You're so strong. Alright, that's it.
Woo!
Alright guys, I'm Double Wide 6. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Unfortunately for me, this project required a lot more work than I thought it would. But, you know, I always learn some things when I do these projects. And it's fun to do them, listen to the comments that you guys have. So leave some comments down below. I'll link some of the tools that I used in the project. And as always, be safe and have a good day. We'll see you.